For several centuries, human beings have been majorly divided into producers and consumers. There have been people driven by capitalism, driven by greed, driven by the vision to solve problems, to do things that would aid humanity. And so they produce and other people consume. There were a few who separated themselves from these systems, and they were initially consumers, but they were able to become producers. And these people are some of the fathers and mothers of technology that have shaped our civilization. And when I say technology, I'm not just talking about STEM. Technology here is technique, right? That's where the root word comes from. I'm talking about everything from art, from science that has made the world a better place. Some of these people have been counted as people who had privilege, two types of privilege. The privilege that comes from comfort, that comes from having the right finance, having the right access to resources, and the privilege that is decided. These are some people who they had no privilege, but they decided that not having privilege was a privilege. It was reason enough for them to solve problems. And we have many of them scattered through history. Isaac Newton is a perfect example of a young man who did not have the right privilege. While he was schooling, at a point before he got scholarship, he would have to clean other people's rooms, clean the rooms of other students that had more privilege than him. But the pandemic that struck that part of the world and shut down everything was his privilege. For 2 years, Isaac Newton became another man. He became one who has laid the foundation for several things in technology and in sciences. You too can be Isaac Newton. And you might not be as driven as him. You might not be as smart as him. But right now, you have a privilege. And that privilege is access to compute that has never been possible all through human history. 80 years ago, just 80 years ago, an average computer filled an entire room. It weighed more than 30 tons and needed several people to operate it. It was impossible for one person to own a computer. It was very impossible. But today, you not only have a phone or computer watching me right now, you have super powerful artificial intelligent models that can run on a 4 gig RAM phone. Gemma, for example, TensorFlow-like models, several models, open source models that are free for you to download and use. Yes, they might use a bit of your battery on your laptop or on your PC, but it gives you the power, the advantage, the vantage point to own the data, to own your thoughts, to build silently, to have the equivalent of Albert Einstein as your co-founder. And you see, if you're using AI majorly to build any solution, to build any idea online, then you might be doing it the wrong way. Because in real time, you are trading that data. In real time, you are trading your intuition, your hunch, you are trading ideas and thoughts that you might not be bold enough to execute now. And that data is going somewhere. Sometimes thousands of miles away from your location, through sea cables to a data center. And some of that data is being sold, is being used. I'll give you an example. In the last 10 to 20 years, tech founders have complained about a very serious problem. That when they start their enterprise, right, their tech startup, and they launch out, they need compute. And most of that compute cannot be on premise. So they have to get compute from cloud providers. That means they have to share their data with cloud providers. And they found out that after operating for 2-3 years, some of those cloud providers approach them and want to buy them out. So it means that most cloud providers with the large infrastructure, they are observing, they are watching, they are analyzing what you're doing. They tell you it's encrypted, but they also have the decryption keys. And when some of these tech founders refuse to sell, let me tell you what they did. Some of these cloud providers, they created better tools, better products that just swallow them. And that's the reality. This is the reality of connecting your ideas, connecting what you are building solely to a bigger infrastructure. Now, fortunately and unfortunately, some of those cloud providers now own a major share in this AI race. So you see where we are headed to. We're headed to a future where you as an inventor, you as a builder, would not own fully your ideas, your thoughts. And so one thing I want you to build as a habit is the culture of using offline models for your most sensitive thoughts, for your most sensitive ideas. A great part of what has made AI is data. Data, yes, compute is important. GPUs have been helpful, but data. But let me tell you, the most important, if you want to call it the richest form of data, It's not what can be found online. It's not those pictures of yours, your videos, the blogs, the websites, the libraries, the books. It's actually your intimate thoughts. And this is why when some of these AI models were launched, they were free for a while because they need you to, on your couch while eating, share your most intimate thoughts. Am I saying you shouldn't use this interesting, wonderful releases? Because every year, sometimes twice a year, they release more interesting AI models and they are very fantastic. They can do amazing things. Use them actually, but use them for work, use them for things that are not very sensitive. Have a boundary between what you are incubating and what you can let out. And for what you are incubating, start running offline models. If you do not have a PC, download Pocket Pal. Some Android phones even allow you to run models like Gemma, light models, and use them to steward your most intimate thoughts, your most intimate ideas. Your most intimate ideas cannot be going on your ChatGPT app or your ChatGPT on your laptop, your web UI. It cannot. If you are doing that, let me tell you, you're just enriching another ecosystem. You are enriching another enterprise that is not you. The culture of inventors is that they write, they journal, they archive for sometimes years. Some of the most interesting things that we now use as pillars in technology, in medicine, were hidden till some of these people died. Most of the writings and the drawings of Leonardo da Vinci were not seen until he died. They were published only after he had died. And this is a known secret when it comes to witty inventions. And so what I'm saying in essence today is, as a builder, as a solution provider, if you're building already, if you're watching me, let me tell you, you're a builder. If you're watching me, you are a producer. You want to ensure that your most intimate thoughts do not run through a C cable to a data center. Your most intimate thoughts are stewarded on your phone by running a lightweight model, on your laptop by installing Ollama, right? And there are other options too. I want you to research. If you want me to do a tutorial on a quick walkthrough on how you can leverage some of these things, let me know. I will do that for you. But let me tell you, there are many tutorials online. In fact, some of them have wonderful documentation. You don't have to watch any videos, step by step, on how you can run stronger models that have been fine-tuned to solve problems in agriculture, in healthcare. Listen, you can start an offline intense research. You can start running experiments offline and then launch when you are ready. And then give the world an amazing gift and also be rewarded in return. Thank you.